Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanim. So, this article here is from Coinpedia.com. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. All right. And it is titled XRP price might surge $3, $5, $10 amid settlements, relisting in Ripple IPO. Says in recent discussions surrounding the cryptocurrency XRP, a top analyst known as Crypto Assets Guy has put forward intriguing price predictions. So let me pause there. I'm just taking all of this data in from all of those articles. That's what this has been about. The different predictions that people are making, I'm keeping it in mind. Of course, I have the screenshots as well. And I'm using that to add to certain equations that I have with the different catalysts, like the partnerships with the banks and such. We've for a long time, we had looked at how much money the banks are moving through them for wholesale, for interbank payments and such. Remember that? So I'm taking this and I'm adding it to that. And then I'm coming up with new numbers of where I think XRP can go. You see how that works? That's why we've been covering these things. It's important. So I also want to add this in there, and then we'll get back to this article. This is why it's important to cover articles like from the video yesterday to get an idea of where different countries and governments and central banks in the world, etc., think that systems are going, because that can affect the new financial system. So yesterday, the title of the video was End of Swift. That wasn't because I just came up with the title. No, sometimes I can't think of a title. I just took it right from an article that was about a central bank head talking about how digital assets could be the end of Swift. That's why I had exclamation point, question mark. It shows where their ambitions are, where their goals are, and then that can affect the timeline of how fast the new financial system could possibly be deployed. That's how I'm looking. I'm trying to look at everything with 360 degrees of mind, right? That's how I'm trying to perceive things, rather. So now let's get back to the article and let's see what kind of data this article is going to give us. It says these projections highlight the potential for a significant surge in XRP's value based on key catalysts such as settlements, relisting on major exchanges, and possibility of a Ripple initial public offering. It continues on here in this section titled, oh, by the way, it's from Coinpedia.org. If I didn't say that before, my apologies. A well-known influencer in the crypto space, well, we read that part, they reiterate, says, according to Crypto Assets Guy, if settlements are reached, XRP's price could potentially reach $3.50. Now, if you watch my videos that I put out maybe 3-4 months ago, and I did videos that said $3 to $5, remember that? So I'm saying 3 to 5. At that time, I had a couple of videos. One was 3 to 5. Then after that, it was like 8 to 10. And then after that was like 25 to 30, something like that. They're still posted, right? But what I'm seeing is from all of these different predictions, from eGrag to I'm not sure 24 Hours Crypto did it. Crypto Assets Guy, all of these top analysts. There's been many we've covered, right? The number I'm seeing the most after settlement is about $3, $3.50. So if we didn't read all these articles, we wouldn't have that average. That's the number I see the most. Now, I get it. I know a lot of people have said, and I hear you. I read your comments and you see me respond. You say, well, nothing's going to happen after settlement. And I can respect that. If that's your thoughts, that's perfectly fine. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. I'm just sharing my thoughts, and we cover the news. So we research and share the news that we have found. That's all. But I say in all humility, I think there's a great chance of that. Pair that once again, I hate to reiterate, but pair that again, once again, with the head of SBI, what they're saying, all these top companies waiting to jump in. This top CEO from South Korea saying they're waiting to jump in. And we've heard it from someone else. I just can't remember who, when they were also saying that there's a lot of big companies waiting to jump into XRP. Let's continue on here. So it says $3.50 with a relisting on U.S. exchanges, potentially propelling it to $5. That I think is reasonable. Yeah. And listen, once again, I'm not concerned if they relist it or not. To be completely honest, I'm not. The catalysts I'm looking for are those banks, big and small. That's all I really care about. But I won't deny the truth that, sure, yeah, if they relist XRP on these US exchanges, there's a heck of a lot of FOMO. Sure. There's a lot of money that probably will want to get back in here, right? Respectable money, respectable capital. And yes, it could propel it to $5. Of course, there will be a lot of profit taking. People are going to scrape some off the top, so there's going to be volatility. But it's a beautiful thing because it'll come down and allow some people to get in who weren't in before, if that's what they want to do. Let's keep going. It's getting interesting. The analyst further suggested that a Ripple IPO could even push the price to $7, while strategic partnerships, now this is what I'm looking for. Strategic partnerships with banks might elevate XRP to $10, and we're going to make well, let me watch my words here. I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube, but we're going to make disgusting gains. I was going to use a different phrasing. Nothing too wild, but YouTube is very strict. At least on me, I know they are. But yes, we're going to make disgusting gains if they can exact on those partnerships. And this, let me just say, disclaimer, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Whether you buy XRP or XLM means nothing to me. I'm waiting on those banks. That's it. Make up your own mind. Okay. But I've been trying to show for a long time that and I do like this because like I think in like pieces, like a piece to the puzzle. I feel like I'm moving a piece to the puzzle around. But as of now, they do not have an answer for a multipolar world. They don't. Everyone, have you seen it? I have some articles here. Use the chapters, guys. Use the chapters. I say that a lot of people don't. They think that I'm just covering one topic through the entire video. But if you use the chapters, I've been showing for a long time that the world is becoming a multipolar world, and whether the West has its own system and the East has their system, they need something in the middle. And tensions are rising, folks. Have you seen what's going on? I'm going to show you because there's tension between the U.S. is cutting China off on certain things. China is cutting the West off on certain things. You're having announcements where they're deciding they've firmly come to a decision to back the BRICS currency with gold. At least that's what they're saying now. Before they kind of went back to a neutrality and they said, well, we're going to use some commodities, which I do believe there's going to be a basket of commodities because some countries have tried to back their digital assets with oil. Some said with wheat. We covered those articles, so that's a fact. They've tried it. Just experiments, nothing, that they're sticking to. They're just trying to see what works. But now they're saying, well, with the big currency, the BRICS currency, the one that they're all going to use, they're going with gold. That's what they're saying now. We'll see if they stick to that or not. So let's get back to this here. But what I was trying to say before is to circle back around. They're going to need something in the middle to glue everything together. And that's where bridge currencies come in. That's where liquidity comes in. Not to mention there is a massive liquidity problem. Especially, we're just taking the U.S. banks as an example. The U.S. banks are still getting bailed out. That bailout fund, they're still getting a ton of capital from it. We've covered the articles. You can look it up for yourself. You don't have to take anything that I say, and I don't want you to, just at face value. I would love for everyone to just, everything I say, just Google everything, right? Because seeing is believing. Is better to see it for yourself. Well, let's continue on here, right? And let me tell you something, $10 with the partnerships that we have, $10 is still extremely conservative. Let me know what you think in the comment section. All right. I like to hear people's thoughts and I respect that, but you don't have to. So, however, it is essential to note that opinions within the XRP community vary. Some members like Crypto Ninja express mixed sentiments, initially considering higher price targets, but later acknowledging the need for caution. I think you can have both. I think that in a balanced way, you can look at the possibilities of having a more conservative price. That's possible. And I think you can look at also consider the possibilities or probability that the price could be a little higher. I don't see why you have to be one or the other extreme. And as time goes on, and this is what I'm saying about being adjustable, you adjust as the catalysts come in. You adjust. You start to see what actually manifests, what actually comes to fruition. Okay, now they're working with this bank. Okay, they declared they're working with this bank. It's just a matter of time. Time is going to tell. Because as the partnerships start to be activated, now you have raw data to work with. But that's just how I look at it. I think you can have in mind both as a possibility and still be reasonable. So it says here, it says agree that $10. Oh, okay. Oh, they said it. All right. $10 is a conservative estimate with a potential for XRP to reach $25 in an exceptionally bullish market. It depends. It depends. In a bullish market, yes, but I also would say just in a utility run. I think that assets like XRP can break free, and I think that they will have their own rhythm, so to speak. I don't think they're going to be tied to anything, so it doesn't matter what the market is going to do once utility kicks in. Just my humble opinion. Why do I say that? Because of the payment channels, that mechanism that you can read about on, what was it, XRPL.org or whatever it is. I put the screenshots up before. So in XRP payment channels, the banks can make interbank payments with one whole XRP, fractionalized XRP, a bundle of whole, but you can only use XRP. It is the best thing, at least at that time, the best thing that they have to offer. But if they're using that, it doesn't matter what the market is doing. XRP can run. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I'm saying. All right. That's a good article. I like this. Oh, this is a real good article. Okay. Let's go a little bit further. It says a long-term perspective was presented by one Twitter user envisioning XRP's price trajectory over the next 7 to 10 years. That's another thing. Some people are going to probably sell 25%, 20%, something like that. They'll liquidate, they'll take some profit. They're going to hold a little bit, right? So there's a lot of people who are going to look into the long term. Everybody has a different strategy. So the individual speculated that factors such as automated market makers, yes, hooks and side chains will be impactful. I'm adding a little stuff in here, my own little thoughts. Central bank digital currencies integration, bridging as many of them as possible. They're going to need it. Providing liquidity, they're going to need it. Traceability, they're going to need traceability. All that money going missing, they just have more billions. Was it billions or trillions? I think it was billions. More billions go missing from the Pentagon. Another audit. Did you see that? And it was tied up into some interesting stuff we won't discuss here. So more capital continues to go missing. You think that they don't want to know where that money is going? Traceability will be very, very key, I think, in the future. But time will tell. We shall see. Just my humble opinion. Where do we leave off here? This is a good article. Oh, hooks and side chains, central bank digital currencies, integration, and token is another thing. Let me go back to CBDCs. The advancement in technology, they just don't have it. They don't have the minds for innovation. What they have right now, from what I can see, they have minds to copy and duplicate. This is why you haven't heard any of their systems in advance of our own. This is why Ripple, Stellar, Algorand are in all the universities. They're staying ahead of the game. Then if you look at the last one of the recent, and we're going to get to it in a chapter later on, one of the recent Bank of International Settlement posts, they reiterate that they want to maintain like this active relationship with the private sector, with open technologies. Why? It's the same thing they've said in the past, where they understand that advancements in technology are handed to central banks, handed to governments. They're not at the forefront. So we will always be ahead of them as long as we continue to do what we're good at, which means they're always going to need us, which means we have a great advantage, at least from what I can see. And if we're in that particular driver's seat, then that means that we're in a good position to snatch a good swath of capital. Sorry, I use the word good a lot just now. I don't know why. What can I do? All right, so now let's continue on here. It says, and tokenization. There's so many things they just listed here that are just going to be mind-blowing. And I know it's harsh times right now. The world is absolutely insane. Everything's, there's a lot of distraction is what I'm saying. So it's hard for people to see this right now, but it's coming. This is why all the millionaires and the billionaires are talking about tokenization, real estate, regular real estate, commercial real estate, farmland, different commodities. They're going to tokenize everything. That's a lot of capital to move. And XRP can be at the crux of that, at the core of that. Algorand is right there. Hedera is right there also. And they already have a firm footing in tokenization. But now you have XRP talking about real estate. We covered that in the last video the other day. Well, let's keep going. It says tokenization could push XRP's prices into ranges of $12, $20. These are around ranges I was talking about in those videos a couple months back. So you have other people saying these things. $12, $20, $30, and even $40 to $50. And so the range that they're giving, he's saying like 7 to 10 years, is over time. I don't think it'll take 7 to 10 years, to be quite honest. My humble opinion, and I could be wrong. I just don't think it's going to take 7 to 10 years. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight either, but everything happens in degrees, right? It all depends, like I said, catalyst. It all depends on how fast they're moving. That's why so many people are watching the timelines. They're watching how fast everything is going. So it says here, investors must exercise caution, recognize the market conditions and unforeseen factors can significantly influence price movements. Yes, they're 100% right. And I understand why they're putting that there. There's so many people that I don't think they want to understand that, right? They want everything to go to the moon right now, right? And I get it. It's very painful sometimes to be patient and wait. I understand life waits for no one. Life can be very difficult right now. So I get that. I understand why they put that there. And then they go into a little bit of what XRP is doing today. So now let's move on to another chapter here. Another article. So now this article here is from the cryptobasic.com, and it is titled Top Analyst Highlights XRP Potential Role in New York Fed's Digital Dollar Test. Now, we've known for a long time that XRP is involved in the Faster Payments Task Force. That's the one for the federal government. Then they're also involved with the Faster Payments Council. A lot of people forget about the Faster Payments Task Force. They got a lot of their data from us. They got a lot of the help to build the ideas from us. So it wouldn't surprise me that we're involved in that. I throw in, there's a possibility, Algorand possibility. Algorand was involved. Why would MIT, who's working with the federal government on the digital dollar and testing it out and doing research on it, they teamed up with Algorand. If you remember, we cover that a lot. So Algorand's foot is in the door as well. But let's keep going here. It says, Digital Perspectives, a popular YouTube channel, recently shed light on the New York Fed's extensive test on the digital dollar. Of particular interest were the presenter's remarks regarding the potential involvement of XRP in the experiment. So the test, conducted on a private blockchain that required permission to participate, yielded impressive results. We've heard that before, haven't we? I don't remember what that was in correlation with, but we've heard that impressive results in some sort of government testing, particularly regarding speed advantage. While the specific private network used was not disclosed, the video presenter highlighted the potential involvement of XRP Ledger or other similar platforms. I would say the similar platforms would be like Algorand, but it's definitely possible the XRP Ledger could have been used for testing. That's not far-fetched at all. We just saw Quant come out and just tell everybody, hey, we're going to be used for testing by the Bank of England and the Bank of International Settlements. They literally came out and told it. But you know what? That's what I like about Quant. They're very transparent. And you know what's crazy? Quant can be that transparent, and they show that I think these companies don't really have anything to fear. They can be that transparent, and still most of the people won't say, hey, I want to go get some Quant. But I think the bank coins that are more US based, they have a fear of that, right? They don't want too much spotlight on them as this battle with regulators is going on. So they try to keep it a little bit quiet, right? They don't want to cause FOMO. That's another thing. They don't want to cause FOMO either. So I think this is my humble opinion. But so, yeah, I think it's definitely possible. It says here, during the 12-week testing period, major banks, including Wells Fargo, Citibank. Come on now. We know who Citigroup has connections with, participated in the New York Fed's exploration of a technology known as the Regulated Liability Network, RLN. The RLN allowed banks to simulate issuing digital money representing customer funds, settling through central bank reserves on a distributed ledger. The test results confirmed the ability of digital dollars to improve wholesale payments. Wait, let me say this as well. Traceability. Once again, traceability. You see, a lot of people are focusing on Fed now. But when it comes to cross-border payments, sending money around the world, right? You're going to need traceability, and you're going to need, once again, neutral bridge assets that have liquidity, because the BRICS nations are going to say, what? You want to use what system? No, we're not going to use that system. So you need something in the middle. Once again, can't get around that, but let's keep going here. It says RLN allowed banks to simulate issuing digital money, representing customer funds settling through central bank reserves on a distributed ledger. The test results confirm the ability of digital dollars to improve wholesale payments, aligning with discussions surrounding wholesale payments. Oh, why did they say that twice? Improve wholesale payments. And I don't understand that. They iterated. Well, okay, let's just skip that piece. CBDCs and the potential of XRP. All right. Says no legal impediments. Importantly, the test concluded that there were no significant legal impediments under existing U.S. laws that would hinder the establishment of a digital dollar. Well, there's a lot of pushback. Also, they have to float that idea to the people who are very adverse to the idea at this particular time. While further engagement with regulators is required, the absence of identified legal obstacles, there's going to be a public obstacle, indicates a smooth path ahead, according to the XRP analyst, incoming 100% adoption inside FedNow. Okay, so we covered a lot of this yesterday with all of these Ripple partners utilizing, not utilizing, but being integrated with FedNow, right? Also, you get a chance, check all those posts that I made yesterday in the members only section. Go over there. That's your content there. All right. I think I posted some good stuff there. So we're not going to get into that now because I covered a little bit of that. So now they talk a little bit about ISO here in XLM, but we'll get to XLM a little bit later. So now we're going to cover these articles here because I want everybody to be safe. I saw what happened. So let's just cover this. This is nothing new to us. Be careful. So this article is from the cryptobasic.com. It says scammer uses impersonated Ripple CTO handle to parade fake 100 million XRP airdrop. What? Be careful out there, folks. We're not going to spend too long on this, but be aware that this type of thing is occurring. All right. This is very strategic. Look at the timing of it. When people are they're very in need of extra capital. They want something where they can make some good gains. And you're getting these scams popping up right now, especially just look at it also how strategic it is. After all of these big announcements, they wait. After all these big announcements, then they give you something like this to try to play off of either people's excitement or desperation. Be careful. So I'm not going to go too deep into that. I just wanted to put that on your radar to say, be aware. Then the same thing happens with XLM a little time later. It might be like a day later. It might be like a day apart. So then Stellar, not XLM, my apology, but Stellar's Twitter was hacked, right? It was confirmed by Danelle Dixon. And they were offering, so the people that hacked this Twitter were offering some sort of like wrapped XLM. This is what they were saying. Wrapped XLM airdrop or something like that, which, you know, XLM doesn't do airdrops, right? So anyway, but it's very, very dangerous because some people, especially with XLM, a lot of people that I know, you know, they've chosen to move on from XLM or they're looking to move on. So they see something like this and they may say, oh, this is a way to get some good gains really quick out of my XLM. They might jump at this opportunity, you know, and a lot of people need capital. So that can also be a catalyst for people to jump at something like this very quickly without really doing research on whether it's legit or not. What I'm saying is be careful, everyone. Be careful. Things are dangerous out here right now. Very dangerous. So I hope all of you are doing well. That's all I can really say about that. I hope you're all doing well. Whether you hold XLM or not, I hope you're doing well. You're cool with me, whether you have some or not, you know. So anyway, let's move on from there. All right, let's get back to some good news. I got to keep the good energy going. So now, listen, keep your eyes on commercial real estate. It could pull those banks down, which has a great effect on the timeline of the deployment of the new financial system. That's number one. and on the rising price of gold. Number 2. All right. So I saw this article here. It's on Bloomberg.com. And I said, whoa. Now, we've been following this commercial real estate thing for months, but now we're starting to get bigger and bigger platforms covering it, which tells you that it's a significant problem. We've had, you know what? This is just, how would I put it? Not tabloid. My apologies, Bloomberg. I called you a tabloid. But this is just like the news source. But we've had U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen speak on it. We've had Jerome Powell speak on it. The people are not hearing this. A third reason to keep up with this is just to be careful and to know if your bank is healthy, right? But once again, I have to think of it in a two-pronged way, because one, I don't want people to get hurt by these banks. That's number one, but I don't control what people do either. You do what you want to do. But at the same time, I understand there's a massive benefit to the new financial system in gold. The same thing with the unrealized losses. I believe one of our subscribers would ask me, what do I think about these unrealized losses from Bank of America? I said it plays into our favor. These banks, listen, the more the banks have going wrong with them, the more they're going to need to rely on the new financial system. At least that's how I look at it. Oh, you don't have liquidity? We can give you liquidity. You don't have security? We can give you security. Oh, you're at a loss of capital? Well, you know that utilizing us in a variety of different ways, you can make a lot of capital. So we have the solutions to almost the majority of their problems. I look at it as a great positive. But once again, there's a balance there, right? So now it says here from Bloomberg.com, it says, think the regional bank turmoil is over? Think again. I like how they put that. The upheaval in commercial real estate threatens to put the industry under renewed pressure. Yeah, it stands to bring down a good swath of the industry, hurting the financial backbone for small businesses across America. Yes, but that's not the highlight here. The highlight here are the banks. It says, while fears over deposit flight have faded, it won't. If this occurs at some point, then maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. But right now, it looks like it is. They don't have a solution to this. Then you can expect massive deposit flight. Things like gold and Bitcoin will benefit greatly from this. My humble opinion says the sector is still in a world of pain as interest rates rise, regulation bites, and market confidence stays weak. One of the dangers now is that smaller banks could decide to pursue high-risk loans that yield more than their current portfolio as they try to avoid becoming zombie lenders, said Richard Portes, a professor of economics at London Business School. A zombie firm typically refers to a company that doesn't earn enough to pay its interest costs for an extended period. This is, quote, that's the way to sudden disaster as opposed to the slow leak in the tire. Banks tried similar tactics during the savings and loans crisis in the 1980s. Quote, we probably entered the period in which more and more banks are going to have difficulties. Once again, so you have another expert telling everyone the banking system is not safe, it's not sound. Says, quote, eventually there will be a consolidation of some form or another. Wow. We heard Janet Yellen say the same thing, that there's an eventuality to it. The big banks will try, and they're not in good position either, but they're in a better position than the medium and small size banks. They're going to try to absorb the banks. That is a mass consolidation of power and capital. Let's continue on. It says now delinquencies are set to rise after 30% decline in office property values, and almost 1.5 trillion of U.S. commercial real estate debt comes due for repayment before the end of 2025, according to Morgan Stanley analysts. Here we go. Another date to add to the calendar, folks. Those problems suggest a, quote, slow motion train is coming down the tracks for U.S. regional lenders, warns Apollo chief economist Torsten Slok in an interview. So another reputable source. They got a lot of reputable sources here. All right. So we're going to leave that one there. It's a good article from Bloomberg. I'm impressed. Okay. So now let's move on to another little piece here. I just wanted to show here that the tension between China and the United States is picking up. It's something I've been watching, and that's why the new financial system will be the glue, in my humble opinion, to everything that's going on now. No need to fear any of their systems. We will pull it all together because they're not going to be able to have a unified system without us, right? So now, this was an article here from Reuters, and it says China to restrict exports of chip making materials in the US, right? Now, if you've been following other articles, I don't have them up now, but some companies have been under stress because of this. All right. You can look it up for yourself. So then another article that shows these like it's sort of a quiet battle going on, but shots fired in a way in the other direction. I'm trying to look at a way to say this without getting in trouble with YouTube. But then it says here, another article, the US reportedly plans to restrict China's access to cloud. Then remember last year when US restricted and pulled out their scientists from helping China to make the semiconductors. Remember that? They're going back and forth, back and forth. So while they're in this heated battle, there is no reasonable way to say they're all going to use one system. No. So then how do they transact back and forth? The way I see it, they're going to need something in the middle. This is why you have players on the west side saying, hey, we like XRP. Hey, we like Stellar. And you have ones in the BRICS nations as well saying the same thing. Hey, we like XRP, Algorand. We like Stellar. Why? But they're both in agreement of only that. I mean, if you're hearing something different, let me know. But I just wanted to put that out there to show we are moving to a point where they're going to literally need, not just the banks, but the countries will need the new financial system. Let's go here. We're going to end off with a little bit of gold news, a little bit of gold mixed with BRICS nations news, actually. So now this article here is from kitco.com, and it is titled, Russia confirms BRICS will create a gold-backed currency. It says the gold market could see new bullish momentum as the world could see a new type of gold standard. So they have a tweet here from someone named Willem Middelkoop. It says, there you go. It's official. This is what I was saying earlier, because before they were a little bit back and forth about what they were going to back the common currency with. It says BRICS planning to introduce new trading currency backed by gold at August summit. We'll see if that actually happens. I need to hear them say it. So we'll stay privy and abreast of the situation. It says gold standard will be great benefit to strengthening the single currency. It also will have a huge, it could possibly, no guarantee, it could possibly have a huge detrimental effect on all non-backed fiat currencies. But it will definitely have an effect on gold. It says 41 countries have applied for BRICS membership. Let's scroll down, see if they have anything more. It says the latest news is adding new momentum to the ongoing de-dollarization trend unfolding in the global economy. For many analysts, a gold-backed currency is the next evolution in the process. Many analysts have seen China's recent gold purchases as an attempt to bring international credibility to the yuan. No, they're already using the yuan. But countries have been loading up on gold because it looks like the majority of the world is moving toward a common gold-backed currency. Make perfect sense, doesn't it? Then they go into the weaponization of the US dollar. We already know that. It says, quote, for making the new currency as good as gold and truly sound currency, it must be convertible into gold on demand. I am not sure whether this is what Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa have in mind, unquote, he said. Quote, using gold as money, the unit of account would be a true game changer, of course. No doubt about it. It could lead to a sharp devaluation of many fiat currencies. This is what I was just saying. And, you know, so many people are telling me the opposite, but I know what I'm reading. They say, no, Mick, don't worry. The US dollar is fine. The euro is fine, Mick. They're not going anywhere. They cannot be replaced. And I say, well, you know, I'm not saying they're going to be replaced necessarily, but I'm saying they can be greatly diminished. I'm not saying they're going to go to zero. I'm saying they're going to be greatly diminished. How much? I don't know. I just know that what is possible solidly. And now you have an expert saying this, right? It says it could lead to a sharp devaluation now of the US dollar, which is already losing value at a dramatic rate. If it's devalued anymore, what does that do to everything? People, it's something that I think about. Something that I think about. But let's continue on. Lead to a sharp devaluation of many fiat currencies vis-a-vis the yellow metal, including the BRICS fiat currencies. And it could catapult up goods prices in terms of fiat currency. This is what I was saying. Catapult goods prices in terms of fiat currencies. Of course. Oh, my word. It's something I'm keeping an eye on. There's no guarantees. It could be a shock to the global fiat money system. I am not sure that this is what the BRICS wish to achieve. This is about positioning right now. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a few. Listen, I'm not justifying anything at all whatsoever. I want everybody to live well. I'm talking about how strategists think. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a few pawns to win the game of chess. This is how they think. Sometimes you have to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. Someone's going to do it. This is what and so this is about positioning right now. You can't win a particular type of battle against the West right now, in my humble opinion. But you can win other particular battles. At least it gives you a high probability, a chance to position yourself somewhere near the top, if not the top. And that's what's going on right now in these currency wars and in these resource battles. You see, this is where the battle is happening, the financial systems and resources. Gold, oil, wheat. What did people cut off when they were battling other people? Wheat. What's been going on when certain countries have been having words? What have they been posturing over? Oil. You see? This is about positioning. So anyway, so it could definitely have a great effect on gold's price, 100%. We'll keep an eye on this stuff here, and, things are speeding up. There's a balance to everything. That's how I'm looking at it. There's positives to so many things. There's negatives. I do believe firmly in protecting my value at all costs and protecting myself at all times. It's like a fight. It's like a fight. That's how I look at it. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.